What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Riga YouTube channel, and in this video we're going to be doing another pick a card reading. Since Thanksgiving is coming up for our North American, or at least our American friends, I thought we would do a family style reading today. Actually, I didn't come up with it. I asked the cards what question I should do, and it came up with a family reading. So in today's reading, we're going to be using 3 different decks to ask 3 different questions for 3 different types of people. We're going to be finding out how you relate to your family, how your family relates to you or how they see you, and what you can do to improve relationships with your family. Now, this is a general overall reading. Not everything's going to apply to everybody. And when we talk about family, we can be talking about a lot of different things. This could be your immediate family. This could be your parents. This could be your extended family. But whatever it means to you, I think is the way you should go. If it relates to your pets, then fine. So, just listen to this reading intuitively. And I think if it does resonate, you'll know exactly what it's talking about. Today, we're going to be using the Celtic Tarot. I almost forgot. The Celtic Tarot. We're going to be using the Pagan Tarot. And we're going to be using the Robin Wood Tarot. So 3 different cards. And we got 3 different crystals. We've got black Tourmaline, which is good for grounding and protection. We've got blue Kyanite, which is a higher chakra crystal, which is great for opening up the third eye and communication. And we've got Carnelian, which is a more lower chakra crystal, which gives a boost of energy and excitement and creativity. So those are the 3 crystals you're going to choose from. What I like to do at this time is to do a little Tibetan singing bowl meditation, sort of, just to get us in the right headspace, to help you to decide which crystal is right for you. So I definitely want you to pick these crystals intuitively. So I'm going to play a little Tibetan singing bowl, and just close your eyes and feel out which crystal is the right one for you. Or if you already know which crystal it is, you can skip to that point of the video. There will be timestamps in the description, so you can skip right there. Alright, hopefully you know which crystal is yours, and we'll start the reading. Alright, the first crystal we're going to look at is black Tourmaline. Like I said in the beginning, this is a grounding crystal. It's a protective crystal. It's a lower chakra crystal. And if you're drawn to this crystal, you might need some grounding in your life. Maybe you need some psychic protection, energetic protection. Who knows? Who knows what it means? Or you were just drawn to these cards. So let's take a look at these cards and see what they have to say as they relate to your family. This first card from the Celtic Tarot represents how you see your family, where you fit in with your family. And we've got the Druid. Interesting. I get the feeling here that a lot of you are kind of the spiritual... what's the word to... you're one of the more spiritually advanced people in your family. You're the type of person that people kind of look up to. Maybe not everyone in your family understands where you're coming from or understands your lifestyle, but they definitely get... I think that you kind of see them as people that you can teach. That people that you have knowledge to share and impart upon them. And I'm not saying that you think that you're better than them, but I do get the feeling that a lot of you are more spiritually aware than the rest of your family, and you feel as though that you have a lot of knowledge that you can share with them. And I do get the feeling from this card that not all of them are willing to listen. Okay? I mean, we're living in a time where spirituality is kind of not understood completely or at all. really by the mass population. So I think this is going to be true for most of us watching this video, is where we understand maybe more spiritual concepts than other people in our family. And we want to share that information with them because we love them, right? We want them to know that there's life beyond this existence on Earth, right? That there's more that we can perceive than the five senses, that sort of thing. And yeah, and I do get the feeling here that, oh look, it's a little crystal. I do get the feeling that it's a kind of a struggle a little bit, getting them to listen to you. The reason I say that is these two guys are looking at each other. Like, these two guys, I get the feeling here. I just like to explain how I read these cards sometimes. These two guys are kind of stuck in the matrix, in the traditional ways of thinking, and they only want to hear each other. They don't want to hear this person who has higher knowledge, because it would shatter their whole reality, and if they allow their realities to be shattered, they'll be very fearful, and they don't want to do that. So I do get the feeling that you're kind of the spiritual leader of your family, not that they're actually listening to you. Okay? All right, this card here represents how your family sees you. And we've got the Elder of Swords. I do feel as though that they do look up to you, though. I mean, very similar energies here. While maybe they're not listening to you, all of them in your family, they do respect you, is the feeling that I get. They see you as someone who is wise and knowledgeable. So I get this in my own family a lot. While I don't believe many people in my family understand the spiritual position I take and the information I'm sharing, I do get the feeling that they, at least on a surface level, understand that I do have some higher knowledge of some kind, right? So I do feel as though that your family sees you as someone to be respected, someone to be learned from, but we do have a swords type energy here. So this is more, they're seeing you as more of a logical type person, right? They're not understanding necessarily the spiritual aspects of what you're saying, but they kind of understand that there is knowledge there, there's wisdom there, and so there is some respect for that reason. So I do think that they don't. I get the feeling that they haven't cast you out of their family for your beliefs. I do feel as though they may not, and this is general. Some people in your family may understand who you are and where you're coming from, but as a whole, I do feel as though they may not understand exactly, but they do respect it. Okay, this card here from the Robin Wood Tarot will let us know how you can improve relations with your family, and we've got the World card. Give me a minute to go into this one. The feeling I'm getting from this card is to not hold anything back. I'm getting the message that you need to be yourself unquestioningly, right? When we're different from other people, we have this tendency to allow their energy to impart upon us, so we don't want to truly reveal who we really are deep down. We'd rather hide things because it's easier, because they may not understand. But I think if you really want to improve relations with your family, you really need to go all out. You really need to just be you unquestioningly. And I get the feeling that your family members are, though all of them may not be ready to meet you at that level, I think this will do a lot to improve, to help them to get there. Right? By you not holding back, by you sharing what you want to share, by you being yourself unquestioningly, that's going to help elevate their vibration, right? You're raising your own vibration, but you'll also be raising theirs, because they're going to be in contact with you, and they're going to be exposed to new ideas, and maybe not all of them will adopt new ideas, but at least it'll make them question their own, and that's going to help you to improve your relationship with them, because they're going to be able to understand you better. But if you're hiding aspects of yourself, if you're not being totally yourself, then there's going to be a lot of confusion, and they're not going to know what kind of ground they stand on with you, because you're not completely obviously exposed and out in the open. Okay, so overall this reading, I relate to this reading a lot personally. I feel as though that you're doing some spiritual practices and learning spiritual knowledge that they don't necessarily know yet or understand, but they do respect you for knowing it. They can at least acknowledge that they understand, that you understand something that they don't understand. It sounds confusing, I know, but just be yourself. I think that's the most important thing, and don't hold back. I get the feeling that some of them in your family, some people in your family are ready to understand you. They just want you to make the first steps yourself. Right? They need you to make those first steps yourself. Okay, so that's the reading for my Black Tourmaline friends. I hope that resonated. I want to thank you for watching, and we're going to move on to the next crystal. Alright, this is the reading for those of you who chose Blue Kyanite. Blue Kyanite is a stone of the higher dimensions, right? If you want to communicate with the higher realms, if you want to get better at meditating, go into deeper meditations, if you want to improve communications with people, I highly recommend Blue Kyanite in your life. Okay, and maybe if you chose Blue Kyanite, that could signal that you need to open your lines of communication better, or it could mean you like the color blue. I don't know. Let's see what the cards say. The first card we're going to look at here is the Celtic Tarot, and it represents how you see your family. And give me a moment with this card. Okay, I get the feeling that you see your family as being very open. I get the feeling that your family is honest. They're very frank when they speak. They're in touch with their emotions, at least compared to you. And of course, this is a general reading, so not everyone in your family will be this way. But I do feel as though that compared to your energy, I think you feel a lot of them are a little bit more exposed. It's kind of the feeling that I'm getting. A little bit more, not that you're not open, not that you're not expressive, but whenever, I don't know, if let's say you're an introvert, right? Almost no matter who you're going to come in contact with, unless it's another introvert, they're going to feel more open, more exposed than you are. And I get the feeling from this card that a lot of your family are more open, more exposed, and they're more willing to say what they feel. They're more willing to say what they feel, right? Without censoring themselves. And again, this is general, so different members of the family will be different. But this is just overall. All right, so let's move on over to this card, which represents how your family sees you. And we've got the Four of Swords. Huh, interesting. I get the feeling here that your family sees you as more of a contemplative person, someone who thinks things through, someone who moves slower, someone who is going to take the time to get to the right decision, to make the right statement, who's just moving slower, right? I get the feeling that a lot of your family members may be more run and gun. Wait, what's the term? Like off the cuff. They just do things emotionally and spontaneously. Whereas you're a little bit more contemplative. I can't think of the real word I'm trying to say. Not contemplative, but God, there's a word that's obvious that I can't think of right now. Anyway, you're more Four of Swords energy in their eyes. They see you as someone who's going to take their time doing things. The fact that we have swords here shows that this is kind of an intellectual card. Maybe a lot of them see you as someone who's very intelligent compared to them, right? Whereas they're more emotional, your family, I get the feeling, or at least you see them as being more emotional. I think they see you as being more logical and in your mind. And for good and bad, right? There's good and bad to being logical. So I'm not trying to blow smoke up your horn. And I'm not trying to degrade you in any way. I'm just trying to say what it is, right? So maybe, possibly, some people see you as too controlling. That's a possibility with the swords card. But the fact that we have a 4 it's a much slower energy. I do feel as though they feel that you're more tactile. I think maybe that was the word I was trying to come to earlier. You're more of a tactician, whereas they're more emotional. Does that make any sense? I hope so. Anyway, let's move on to this card, which represents it's the Robin Hood Tarot, and it represents how you can improve relationships with your family members. And we've got the Three of Cups. This is sort of like meet them at their level is kind of the feeling I'm getting here. Spend more time with them, but yes, the Three of Cups is about spending time with loved ones and enjoying their company. So definitely do that. I think that'll improve relations. Spending more time with them shows them that you're more willing to connect with them, right? A family member who never shows their face at gatherings, right? They're kind of ostracized simply because they don't show up as much, right? Spending time is one of the number one ways to show that you care about a person. But also, this is about also opening up your heart a little bit more and reaching them on that level. Whereas you may be more logical and contemplative, they're more emotional and they're more, in tune with how they're feeling. And if you get more in touch with your feelings, they're going to be able to relate to you better. And that's going to improve your relationship with them. So I think that this card is saying that there's a little bit of work that needs to be done on your end. It's going to be harder for them to meet you. But if you take the first steps to meet them at their level, then they're going to be more willing and able and just more likely to come to come to your level. Right? If you meet them at their level, they'll come to your level as well. So spend time with them, laugh, express your emotions more. I think is very important with your family. Be more open with them, and don't be afraid to show your emotions, right? I think they'll respect you for it. A lot of us are afraid to show emotions because we fear that we'll be judged. But I get the feeling that with your family, there's not going to be a whole lot of judgment if you allow your emotions to come out. I think they're more that type of energy, and they're going to really accept it rather than judge you for it. So overall, I think I get the sense here, and again, this is a general reading, but I do get the sense that your family is a lot more open than you are as far as emotionally and expressively, whereas you're a little bit smarter maybe, and you're tactile. You're more. I get the feeling that you're a tactician in their eyes, right? They see you as someone who's smart and going to make the right decisions, but it's going to take you a while. But in order to improve relationships with them, definitely meet them at their level, come down to their level, or move up to their level, whichever way you want to see it, and just be more emotional with them, right? Be truer with them. And you don't need to hide behind your veneer of, whatever you're hiding behind as far as releasing your emotions. Okay, so I hope that made sense. Let me know in the comment section if this resonated with you, and I'm going to move on to the next reading. Thanks for watching. Alright, this is the last reading, and this is for those of you who chose Carnelian as your stone of choice. Carnelian is a type of quartz that is very grounding, but it resonates more with I find the sacral chakra. It gives an energy boost if you're ever feeling lethargic. Work with Carnelian in your life, and you'll definitely feel an energy boost. It gives a boost to your crystals too. It helps promote creativity, and it's just a great crystal. So we'll see what that means for you. Maybe you chose it just because these are the right cards for you. Who knows? So first we're going to look at the Celtic Tarot. And this card represents how you see your family. And we've got the Shadow. I'm getting, this is a general reading, let me just say that. And there's going to be some members of your family where this resonates with, and some members of your family where it doesn't. But I do get the feeling that there's some strained relationships with your family members. There could be some addictions involved that kind of has separated some of you. And this doesn't have to be drug addictions, it doesn't have to be alcohol. It could be, maybe you're just on totally different levels. Maybe they love to watch TV and you love to read, right? It could be something simple like that. Maybe your family member all eat meat and you're a vegan. Maybe they like to shoot up heroin and you like water. It could be any of those things. You understand more than I do what this card means, but I do feel as though there's a separation, and it's because of some shadow elements. And when I say addictions, that's usually the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of a shadow element. This could represent like a fight that was had in the past, or a falling out, or for whatever reason, just a separation due to some negative energy. So hopefully the third card we look at can help bridge this gap and find an answer to fixing this. So let's go to this card here from the Pagan Tarot, and this card represents how your family sees you. And we've got the Emperor. Give me a moment with this card. Huh. The feeling I get here is that your family sees you as kind of bossy, maybe too controlling. Um, this is such a general reading. It might not resonate for all of you, but I do feel as though your family sees you as someone who wants to dictate things and doesn't want to be told what to do. And so yes, this kind of reaffirms this divide that I see between you and some of your family members. And maybe some of your family members see this as a good thing. Maybe some of your family members need to be told what to do. Not told what to do, but need this authoritative energy in their lives. So while some members of your family might see this as a burden, as you as someone who's bossy and in control, and they see that as a negative thing, perhaps some members in your family see that as something that they need, and they look up to you for that, and they look up to you for advice and guidance in many different things. So this is a general reading for your whole family, but like I say, some members of your family will feel one way, and others will feel another. But overall, I do feel as though a lot of them see you as a higher person, whether for good or for bad, as a person who's in control, as a person who's in authority, as a person who's trying to run things. I guess you could say. So if this shadow card resonated with you, maybe this is why. Maybe this is a large reason of why there's a divide, is because of different energies. Maybe they're more free going where you're more controlling. Perhaps I'm just throwing it out there, and they don't like that. But we'll see what this third card has to say. This is the Robin Hood Tarot, and it'll let us know how you can mend the relationship with your family. We've got the Seven of Wands. Okay, the feeling I'm getting here is in order to improve your relationship with your family, I think you need to be firm in who you are and what you stand for, but at the same time not be so combative about it. Right? There's a way for you, and I've learned this the hard way, I feel like, with some of my family members, is that you can come on too strong sometimes. Let's say you are right about an issue. Absolutely right. Your whole family is wrong, or members of your family are wrong, and you want them to understand that. There's several ways of approaching that situation. You can tell them that they're wrong. You can explain to them all the reasons why they're wrong and how to improve and what to fix and how they'll come out better if they do fix it. But most people I know will see that as you attacking them, and they'll go into their defensive shells and they won't hear a word you're saying. Right? That's the kind of the energy that I've felt in my life. When I've had this type of, energy towards people. Or you can just do what you do and be an example for them. And while this might feel like you're not doing much, you're not getting involved in their life and you're not making them do the right thing. The reality is this is more effective in bridging the gap between people, because they see what you're doing and they see you as an example, and they get to work it out themselves, right? If they're smart enough, they'll work it out themselves, and they'll say, wow, those are the results that he or she gets from being this or that way. Maybe I should make the change myself. And they'll think of it as their idea. You won't get the credit most of the time, but it does lead to actual change. So as far as dealing with your family, I think you need to show more than tell. I think you need to just be yourself. Don't compromise who you are, but at the same time, don't try to compromise other people in your family. Let them be themselves as well, and don't be so combative with them. And hopefully that will result in them seeing a better way and understanding that maybe their way wasn't the best way. So in this reading, I did get some negative energy, and I hate to call it negative, but it's something that can improve you and your family members in the most rapid way. I do feel a divide or a rift between many of your family members, and they kind of see you as someone who's kind of above them, or who thinks that they're above them. But the best way to fix that is to show a better way, not tell a better way. And hopefully they're good enough to, over time, to see that difference and to make the decision to change themselves. Does that make sense? All right, that was the reading. I hope that made sense to you. I want to thank you for watching. I hope this reading resonated with you in some way. And leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy taroting. Peace.